Good evening, class. My name is Mikkel Larinaga. I'm very excited to share my Coat of Arms project with you. First of all, I want to apologize for the poor lighting conditions. The color effect on the camera that I'm using is kind of freaking out right now. I'm in a hotel room in Nashville, Tennessee. My wife and I are on the road. We're attending the 2014 SALT conference in Nashville, Tennessee, which we're excited to be here, but recording this in a hotel room makes it a little bit logistically challenging. It is an economy hotel room, but since this is neither a journal of my travels nor a Yelp review for La Quinta Inn in Franklin, Tennessee, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into my Coat of Arms project. First of all, the first quadrant here shows where I am from, which is the state of Connecticut. Here is Milford, Connecticut, which is the city that I'm from, and that's marked by a little smiley face with sunglasses. Check that guy out. That's me as a baby, wearing sunglasses. The Connecticut coat of arms I decided to include just because I saw that on there and I thought that was pretty cool. It's a coat of arms with 3 grapevines. I lived there for many years and never saw any grapes, but I'm going to give it to them. And I also included the state motto, which is Qui Transtulit Succinct, which according to Google means translation not found. Next, we're going to move on to the next quadrant, which is the funny story from my childhood. From Connecticut, my family moved to Florida, and a fun memory from my childhood is that of my brother and I riding bikes in a hurricane, as Floridians are wont to do. That's what you do when you live in Florida. You ride bikes in hurricanes and you wrestle alligators. So in this particular story, it was a pretty strong hurricane. We snuck out in the middle of the night and we got on our bikes, and there was a lot of water standing on the ground. If you've ever been in a hurricane, tremendous amounts of water fall, and the storm surge brings water kind of up and rises water levels, so there's just flood water everywhere. My brother decides to ride his bicycle headlong into this huge puddle. It was basically in a lake at sea level, and goes headlong into it, and he decides that he wants to spin his bike at about 80 degrees in such a way that he imagined that it would send this wall of water arcing through the air and look really, really cool. It didn't work out that way. The bike, of course, didn't do anything like that because he's 10 years old and not a professional bicyclist. So the bike goes flying out from under him, and I have this really vivid and hilarious image of my brother deciding to avoid and ignore every single human instinct he possesses to protect his body and face and organs, and throws his arm outward and does a Superman-style belly flop in this water, which actually probably worked out okay. It probably ended up protecting him from more harm if he would have gone into it at any different angle. So that's a fun story from my childhood. I wouldn't recommend it, though. If you ever have an opportunity to ride your bikes in a hurricane, don't do it. It's probably not something you want to try at home. Leave it to us professionals here in Florida. The next quadrant is devoted to what I'm good at. I'm a musician. My wife and I are both musicians, and we work very hard at that. She is the music director at our home church, and I help her out a lot with that. I've done a fair amount of traveling, both nationally and internationally with music. It's something I'm very excited to continue to do, and that I think is going to be a part of my life for years to come. It's also what I want to continue to get good at. I know that was a second question. It's something that I feel that I'm good at, but it's something I also want to continue to improve doing. That is a craft ever in the improvement. Next up is this quadrant, which is my life goals. This was actually a tough one for me to answer. I have a lot of goals that I want to achieve, many of which may or may not ever happen, but they are something that I will continue to work for. But in all of that, no matter what I do, I want to continue to give glory to God. I want to, whatever I do, to be theocentric. I want God to be at the center of it. I want to share and tell stories, and in so doing, write a story with my life that gives glory to God. And then for the final question, which was my favorite, is the 3 words that I want someone to say about me at my funeral. And I want that to simply be, he did it. And then the next person would come up and share Just those 3 words, and that's all they say. He did it. He did it. And then the next person comes up and says, he did it. And everyone who comes up and shares about me, that's all they say. He did it. And then an archer will shoot a flaming bow onto the barge, igniting it. It's a Viking funeral at sea. I may not have mentioned that, but it's important to know that that's important for the visual of understanding what that's going to look like. Well, anyway, that's a little bit of a glimpse at who I am, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to see the rest of your submissions and to get to know the rest of you better and enjoy this class together. Have a good one.